We are Revelations, the biggest spiritual platform. We send the city wo menim na pressure sa and the am say nya aye mo amu bisa mo ama WhatsApp me be 1,000 and the ni na ayeboko me ma wakwaba e de ba Revelations platform kakraka we saying so na one ye guest and the na ebo Lord I can welcome to Revelations once again.
Thank you, Maame Grace.
He's here. We've missed you.
I've also missed you. My family.
Pacho chia mwe na chia.
For me chia munyina. In chia kesi yonkoma spiritual scientists for nyina. Followers and the members of Spiritual Science Society. Me chia munyina. Abo ade nkan nyina. Any viewers of Revelations platform munyina in chia yonkoma mo. Ene sama yema so.
Oh, nim say Maria maso ene ye ba be show ne la ye be tuni moja. Lord, I hope say bibia ye boko. And there me pese me ne wo edi nkomo effective use of spirits. Ene me pese me hu enu na me sante ase spiritual culture, spirituality, spiritism, any spiritualism zim. Edos ba mema wa fa ne baako. Na wetimi amayakom. We are discussing effective use of spirits. Na ekrom hana yete no unya ka honhom sema na obi ahwe se bayie bibia sei bibia yesei chese ye bibia mojasem chaka. Lord Ackkham, what is spirit?
Me da se ya ka honhom a ene yedi kan ye won nkyere bia ene ne nkyere ase pii. Ne yedi kan ne ya ade ya wonfa wani nye den ehu ne nso ewo ho. Ne yetosum yenu e ya de biara nso a anas ne ete ase ewo nkwa ewo nyansa etumedwen anate ase di biara ye den eni honam na ye kana se ne ewo ho aye mfa ye ni hu a so be ka se be fa ne practically ade bia fe no spirit a udom so kwakra be hu se even microorganisms kra no at some point we refer to them as spirits. Microorganisms we refer to them as spirits because na ne sen mu sa embo wan ketenkete se ye fa ye ni hu mo ye onema pie de hye honhom babekom na yemo amu na ye de ekose ebi ni se den se yoko sumanfia na se bosumfia ya na ma breso even besi ne se yoko typical shriner ka okwa ida se yoko onye du fie ansa na bedu bosumfia na se be wura posuban mu anasa ne ye wo bia no ye den ye ma moto etafre ye ma ohoro nan ho ebi a insuo na ye obeworo ho na se okukuo mu se wo calabash mo na se koramo obekọ na haban bi ye den egum sa haban na ba kankasa ma ye fe da adwora ananyanya na yeden na egum ne ye kire se fa bi yeden se hunsu ne fa yeden ne fa woro wonsa onan ho wanim ni wutim anse na yeden ovira bosumfie ho bota be na hye kire ne kasa ne ni wemu kasa na na se eni ani kasa ne ye ka ne se o yeden o dwira ho yeden efi ho bone bi edi wachi baaye ba ne kasa mu ankasa ne nkire mu na ankasa no wo ba nyina no e wo bebia wutietiae nyane ne kasa ye nya wo so mu you might have picked up certain microorganisms a disease causing organisms yarwa ye den ewom wo de beba fie ho betima beja yare na ye den ewo ho cause bebia nipa dom nyina ye den eba suman wura obi bi otifie obi anso ho no ye den oda to abonte so for de yare betima be ye den abeja saint na odwora ho no ba ne kasa tietie ma na ni ani ye se den ye boye ho ban ye den efi ho bone ho ye ntiase bi ye ne ho sa abre no ene kasa bi ye ne wo ho me ne ye hwe mu no se ye kasa ope antioxidants antiseptics are one of the greatest antiseptic on earth. Then ya friend the porcelain. But for case friend the porcelain mu na baga twika se friend adwora. The adwora ya se hu ma de no. Esan so the antiseptic dettol ne ma ne be bram use nyina adwora ne ye de. Intino ne abebre ye de sunsuma de abata ho no. Ubemu abehu se den. Eye sunsuma de esane se ne ewo mu ne kwan ya fa so di dwuma ne ye den ye mfa ye ni ye den ehu ba wure mu na do mu suko a abode nya sapa ma ya te ase ne teve ne sunsuma de timika se sunsuma ye ne mfa ye ni hu se wo ho ene ne ye den eni honam so ye den e wa adwene nyansa ne te ase a sa na me pa kire.
Okay, sa na wo pa kire enti spirits no how effective are they?
How effective are they? Me da se wo ho ade bia benya effect a ejina ne wo ne chi so ene ne ejina ne muso meka se ne wo ne nchen so ne ejina ne muso a ebi ne se den se wa hoden abetumi da ya adwuma ba adwuma ne kese so be kire wa hoden se ne be den ebedu Into one kasa ho den wo ho ba de kon de adwuma wo ho de ka koyen so be kire wo ho de den ekita o se sade no mo yedrusen wa e mo ho de betumi pagya we beebi e de ka be so otumi mpagya wo ho den mo bo ho de ne o ha na esi wo ne den enso te ka effectiveness are two ways. What the obstacle is one, and what the strength of the what or the person going to overcome the obstacle what is. Any idea that you check efficiency and effectiveness of what of any power. Inti say spirit bu ho na say to me bi o baby a kwan be na fa so di ne djuma adekun edi so djuma no so na ho de ne san ye de den edi gina e na be kire say oye effective and no so ye den onye effective
and e de be kire say oye effective and onye effective but o start ye no o say o kire ye spirit no the way I de ye nika no Mami, the darker part of it and the dangerous part of it.
The same way, the darker part of spiritism, and I say spirits in general, as in you could do spiritism. The darker part of it always stems from deeper no practicing. A honey semono. Because you have to be a and the BBM will soon wear. A banism and will be soon. A word near Ben, any you made your day, or the dear. What is the darker aspect of spirits? As a practitioner, Rebecca said there is no dark, there is no white. But on a moral ground and its application, Rebecca said as soon as something the better said then, a fita and I say tuntum. Nemo said, I did be tuntum and I said, I did be the ebay the coins were. Not then now they are the corner ye. Then I won't shad in a year. At the corner, oh, yeah, now one moonty as and now, then, oh, yeah. Etio, ye the bob buying a bass, I will be betcho, and now so be do bonia, a ditio boy and home buying. Set you down so before consider the it is a darker part be her, none near agent so at the corner, you know, and at the corner you made in a bed in the dark. It is a mean media maker say there is no dark spirits, there is no white spirits. Every spirit exists for whatever it is. He who applies it needing, actually. Nemo say a kodaka aspect of spirituality, Rebecca's a dangerous aspect. The greatest of all dangerous aspects of spirituality is half language. So when you are a debi who nim dear, and I only nim dear to edeng ACP, and edimu, now I edeng. Now they are the near than Edi Juma. That's the most dangerous aspect of spirituality. International baby, I also want the Kwa Oye. Now what Tia Sansadia. So when Tia Sin Cipia, the man shassi, me the camera can be different to you. But what to you, Matuna Cassa, recall Naden, if you don't casbet Matuna Eden, as I'm the bow. But you're about now too. But to you, and who's work a holding agent at Unimuno. So when someone you debate my son's iden, each and one iden, abo. So the whole thing is saying, near Oya, and anyone Tia in the bachelor is assume a bed everything widen, abba.
Ya we na onti ase ho na enye yi maame say ye ka police fo asema ye nim se police fo mo boni pa ho ban but o ka police obi enim se oche ewi eno de o ka anya obi a behu but enye no pe no mo ye enti sesi e fa ne se ye de spirits no to police ho a e dem pa na ye ka pa ye hu
e dem pa na ye ka ye hu ade ba kwa be ka ne se den nia wo de ma no sa na de be ma ho. The only principle I want to say garbage in, garbage out. First in, first out. Sana homo tie. Nya de ma no na ogbo ho de ma. Pepepe. Ti se wo die wu a ewo die na so be den. Wo beje. Wo de ya de pa e ho ade pa so na be den. Wo benya. Eno nya de kese wo se ni pe bia bo sunsum di ote ase.
So effectiveness no so what describe it say e bi a me wo hwe ma ho odin ni metimi afa we na me se me ho odin so na e de ka e bi abesu wo na me ntimi mfa fa sa asem na afa toto honhom na explain
me da se sa de we de aya na ye nyante ase ye kese wo mu empempe obi wo se ye tatitibi yesusu ye titibi e da so bi se na ewo ma na ya titibi so kofre honhom bi e na sebe nya ado obo odam ana se okoba bi eno de yare ye den ebe afie ana se oya obubugu den mu ogbo anifrai oyese yetatete de bi bebre den de biara da wo se me ko ha kopem wa echire bone na ye den e de bre me yetatete sansensen we nyina bi na yemfa asem bi na me fan bi sa asem yemfa ne se yemfa na de o ye amane ana wo nyanyankoma de obeka se rituals ana wo ye spiritual exercise se na ye spiritual scientist ya kana no wo ye exercises bi na bia exercise na kire say fa hwadio fa insuo na fa guso na de ngo kokon ko guso why a ritual no but what's the sound ritual no adentia cause ngo ya de gina ho mani bre ye sanso de yeden e de sre ade e den e de pata de e makwan mu yeden e da ho ngo so ye de yeden ye de gina ho ma e bra moja ehia tena obaka twi kase ye freden ana obaka nkase ma ye fre ngo mojango eye ngo kokko asa na mekanyo ye fe ngo kokko ne dimba ko ye den eye mojango Tiba na nana mu dwumadie mu pa be bia ye gimoja ne on pese be ma mojo de ngokoko ye den esi anan e de ma no na ade no so hiansuo wo de ngo akọ kasa na ewo dwumadie na de wa ye den wasesa kasa no kasa de bia wo de amane bia ye den kasa wo de nsuo ka ho a nsuo dum nsuo mankwa nsuo ti ade ho ye de dware to de nsuo guma wo de sa ahodie anase dwumadie wo nsuo na ye den wo de aka ti se nsuo na se no na wo so de ka na wo ye den wo de ngokọ ka wasesa kasa na ewo dwumadie ni mu no ti ya ka nyankomade na se ye se fa abo fa nyanya fa se so won ti ya se bo se ye kasa na ye den yaka ya ka magical seals ni set seal we to set seal to ni se chro engine we symbol to what to wait ye kasa na ye den o ka se won ti ase wade na wo ye ma bo se kasa we na me ye den meka adan ye se fa we to east fa we to west fa we to say ye kasa esa ne se kokko ejina ho mani bere into the red candle see here you are invoking all the spirits in their form as anger, as force, as protection. With the green see here for money, for what? For dignity, for elevation. With the green see here for wealth. With the yellow see here for health. With the way see here into the color be see ye kasa na eden o catch universe no any obi bia we twa we shi so wo honam oni eden oni honam na se wo kwasesa na se bia hoden na wo pe na wo de ne eden ede osai na eba na afede osai no uwi akodware a na afede na ba se kire osai na beba esa ne se wasesa kasa na eden e wa de ni mu no tade bia ye kasa tena me kasa se wonti ase ndi mu a ube ya eden epra ho ye fa na se para akra ye no mikura nduru ekwaje hospital yi ebia sa yare ye bo a eduro bia sa yare ba se eduru kuna no wo fa na do a ebe den ebetumekun ade na sa yare na eje nkwana na esan so ye den emu na owuo no ye den ewo nti nia de beye na ebe ma na dwumedi ayi den aye papa ana bone.
You are watching Revelations. The other beye no na ebe ma aye papa ana susu se aye bone. Sesi ayi me pa cho. Minim se uyo obi a weni da ho na wo ye endowed nso nti wo social media uhu nia ekoso. Ende ubehunu like sesi akoye te se me kwa akoye te se spirituality. Abedane ade a ewo social media so ate se obi kura start bibia obehu ana wadane na afa spirituality. What I want to understand ne say obi a we read about spirituality na oka obi a wa practice spirituality na oka ho asem obi a oni knowledge bia no de ye business obi hwe yen a ohwe social media so ne ade a eden na be ma wahu se asomesi de akọ read ade na oka like la shini ho eden niama na ye mfa nhwe aya meka se obi a oka spirituality oka sa bebre upa meye sei na wu ye sei sa na me de hwe wo nso no wo na wo de wa komu na wu mi gidi se mu hu a ebi ha mu den ni ma ni ama be 5 ahwefo no emfa nhwe uwi a na ma ba ahwefo no mo hwe yen ni soso
ni edi kan sani pa no kasa bi odi ehu na ebata ho kosade bia mu se ehu di kan obibi bia da mu an ya be ka di echi bia na tom. Yes, why? Because fear shrinks your aura. Once your aura is shrinked or once your aura gets shrunk, ade bia bet my den every external force be able project towards you be bet my den bet my intercept within your aura na affect you. And here 1 2 opese obi o ne nchen bia your trofo no nkwa na ye nokware ne kasemu nyina no obi no wotumi se me Ghana ha nyina me na me wotumi wiase afo ne nyina me ne bonsam kura atena edidida me ne bonsam ayese me wiase afo ne me na me koya kodo this level. Once that such a person begins to talk, then you need to realize, say, I don't know quite be your such as a men and minim sing be a basun soon for Munsuno, and you be a sub your Sabianado, and yes, and a it's ye. Near Tosumi answer, and it says, oh, yano, Sabia Sabianado, we will be your badger man. Ninsem could ye no cranubon say, and to ye, because of being him, did you say, Abrabo beer muno, Nipawan Casanso then. Also then make say also can be nipa nkasa wadwen ye den e ka ho bi na nipa bi okasa bia na wadane bibia sunsum no na wo hwe ne ye no ebisa kose bibia ye sunsum a enya won say won wodi na chi nyina no won ne tifie kura meka yo se hwe ho ye sa so ebitu ye hu asorefo ye hu kremofo ye hu se menka se kremosum no nipa bi adentia esa ne se nkyere ne be kye nipa ne ntia se ne bibia se bia se nimbia bia wiase bia ye sunsum ade a enya won say niti be ne ya na ochena obekasa akosia na yeden aye ko de bia sane pa ne pe bibia yeden abo ne sobo nipa ne epe sunsuma yeden e won kyerɛkyerɛ bi mu ti do pose obi bia ne kyerɛkyerɛ bia sunsuma de no wa hu sada bi na okasa bia honhom se Suman say, Hong Kong say, Nanya Bia Hong Kong Casana, me Hong Kong, Hong Kong, and kind of Hong Kong to me amawa, and ye be a Hong Kong when we be son as him. Nice automatic of a choice, make a semi day, maybe can be. And an young permit my own bisa questions. Penny Maya day, bisa sem. Unim niao chen, unim niao can. Ye bisa semi day, I was so yano. Penny my own cassa. Mena meka. Mena messie, unim she, me per cemetery, mena meka. No, once the person does not allow you to ask questions, there's a big question mark. The last part, they say, Nyoye nyinano is to rally was followership for himself. Nyoke bia ne pese edom kekele di nechi. U pese o che enlightenment, you don't do that for yourself. Nipa ni nimkwan no pese o yehwe wa no obeden, obeba. Ba onye bibia ensekon around you say brabedi na me na me ka no kware no. There be nipa etie ana nipa etie obi a onyansa woni tim. Obi kan sa na nyansa wo mo nipa ne yeden enim. Nyansa ni ma nipa ne yeden enim. As simple as such. Ye twani nyina afimu a na ne me ka ne se wankasa nso a wo kɔ no bisa wo ho nsɛm. Me se den wo nipa na akɔ no so ye den bisa wo ho ensɛm. Pa bisa wo ho nsɛm. Me se den bisa wo ho nsɛm. Na bibia anye sunsuma de sa. Ade we me nya sam we bi sometime back bibia sunsuma me say into de bibia sunsuma de. Na ade wo ti radio so ni TV so wo ti na ye oya bra mema we duro we wo ho na ye oya fa ade we fa se upa adwuma fa se upa we a fa se anye bia nyansa kora wo se kira wo se nipa biara wo ni nti ye pamo ni fi adwumam yetumi nso de keke pamo fi adwumam akwadwuma ba ko mienu miensa ne ye pamo wa nipa bia onyansa be besta te bisa wankasa ye pamo no se den na wo ya wo nya ne yie na wo ti oya akose upeso okunu ware wa kwayese upeso oyere ware wa kwayese what's the sense in that what they can hwe nipa nankasa ehun ne e da wo no
ti mu nyina abon won huru ni tim
utie oya kotie dro we wahwe ehun se da bi nipa ne tie de ya na ebia na bibi ana pompo na esi ana bibi ya wo de wedi na eden e ma da what e ma da side effect no ade na won konkohwe nipa be no medro awie na bibi ato na awie nti nyansani no onfa nim de bi nto abonte onhu nie ntia nipa na o tie ne eden eji sa nim de na eden akọ na dase
yo osi odase na obi aka chen se we wie no odase wote ha sesi ya no wahu now no wachre ade a ahwefo no hwa a omo behu se baby amiko yenye ma afa yen fa ahwefo no nso why do you think say always every spiritual person no omo tag as fake and then na ye this ade ne ba enkrofo na nkasa omo hwehwe spirituality no omo deserve to know spirituality and omo nte ase
nyameka ne say on say yejuma de orema betene me brase nipa na ma nipa ye bone me have several instances obi afre me ni onim bi obi ni me eno kana se kasa me de story kra e kan ye obi aba me ho me pesika duro mate se hu bi o bi a yi obema me sika na me di hia che na fe waka je nipa ko ni se sika duro bi ani baabi bibia ni baabi a nipa we be ko asan ababia be ka kire se o de kire me sika bi a pe bi a me den my card say metua tanye bia so ye konfo o ye malam o ye sofo me di we na example ye was several instances na se de bia da this influences e ba one day wo hwe ho na se o hia sika bia bibi na se bibi sa ba o be hwe manako o ba ji ta so e be de bi na fe den na bone ye den e so ye den e ba nti ahwefo na nkasa na wo mu di sunsum dwumadi echi no mo so mo kan me na bone na ye den because the things they demand for are also putting people in certain positions that they will also exploit them. Obi ba kwampo na wankasa nya hu a obi ba me office hu hwe say o sana o hati say na simple hu hwe wo ho na dipa na hwe obi say nti wo ya sunsum dipa ampa na nya bia no so o kasa asem wei na so beti baabi na o hwe wa o chena na dipa da fa ne ha o de we afa ne ya en na o ba wo popo nti o kasa kofa 1 billion ba kwa den kwa bobo sia den aba wankasa nso ka ho bi to wankasa nso hwe mu hu yi
wankasa nso ka ho bi what about omo nso so a omo trigger spirituality no won say yen Africa for ankasa ye say spirituality de bia bone side ne ye ko say me fa say spirit ne ye say de awo kan ye no osi ho de awo de ne be ye no ne be ma obeye but unji this Africa for ye trigger negative part of spirituality ne chain bibia because obi ko ba bia adata obi aginisika obi aginiku obi aye ana ebinum ba ho a omo create machines bia omo pe spirituality ne dia ko create
say me say we won. The African has a mindset which is troubling. Africa yentinimu po yade ha yempa maka mesan asina esisu biemene. The African mindset is a mindset of non-responsibility. Me kind of responsibility the average African den so baje ne phone so atuma hu se me na me ye na madwuma we yagu. Me na me ye na me kunu agya me. Me na me ye na me yere ayeden agya me. Me na me ye na yade we aba me so. Me na me ye na we ayeden. That thing is very difficult with an African to accept. That is the main thing with Africans. Niyama saadi wa ayeden enti ama asema obi say nyina ayeden ekọ ne yekọ no. Partly because of that. Because until say people will become responsible for the actions they take, that is when they will begin to see the realities of life. Na bi memu ha no boni a yehu ne de bia wo sunsuma de yehu ne se den. Ene say yen mu no yehu ne say se bibi say bibia ene che say de ko no otumi. So we measure power by the what? By the level of distraction something can cause. So until something has been able to cause a distraction, we don't see power in there. Saying den tia ene ye wakasefo bebre. The last time sana me ni obi on Clubhouse na ye discussion be about Pan-Africans me dey fam. Na Pan-Africanism in church ni nyina koye about African leaders no more of autocratic military leaders. Ni abo Idi Amin, abo said these are the great Africans who stood against the white man and then fought. Yes, they fought for their people, but in the end their people also suffered to a degree, which I'm not here to judge that. But omo kan akosi be na bisa say they be about say Pan-Africans praise African hero bia. Not a political person, but you're a businessman no more. Because if we need to be motivated politically, what about those in the field of business? Because everybody and what motivates them. So you're a hero. We don't only need a hero of what? Of politics. We also need a hero of what? Of business. To me, I'm a business person. I'm more Africa. Hano. Me who be why successful in the field of business. I be motivating my then. Why don't you begin to praise such people? And I tell an authority, what I'm going to say, me kan sa asem we na me ko bo mu su ko kan Dangote me bo mo Ibrahim e ho na nkrofu eto mba se e kire bonne imperfection e wo san nkrofu we nyina ho ne kwan fa so ye they are evil they na me hwe mu din na me say hey, just for you to praise a successful African businessman you are now trying to find every fault with the person.
Meanwhile no politicians no nim ne potting so many people.
This is what I can tell you. Africans are that kind of way. Even kraba na nanamu sunwa over na nanamu sunwa we go to our traditional place. That's what they judge themselves. Or person who so abenya or to edru na nka wan na eche so aben mabone yare or person who say we powerful no atray obi naturally the level of distraction that something can cause is what we use to measure power. But is that the true definition of power? No. About spirituality man, the actual definition of power per my definition, per my philosophy is this. Is the ability is the ability, power to us, is the ability to be, do, and have whatsoever ye desire. And then to incite others to do same. That is power. Power is not the level of distraction. Sisi so be to my car, I'm a car, obi yare, and ya car bet to car fear within 3 minutes na do hospital. Hospital anka ye nanti anka betume take be 6 hours and I say 1 hour. Within 15 minutes na tomorrow I could do hospital. Don't you think this person has given a power of life to somebody? This is how we use power. So the degree to which that thing can affect others' life and also make them also what? Have the ability to also impact others. That is power. Not the level of distraction something causes. Be never so measure power. No or share boni or dit me then Eddie. Ni particular we metuma say no. That's I'm powerful. We metuma jinadwuma finisa. Yes, I'm powerful. That is not power. That is evilness.
Why is it so? Eye Africa for su. Ana say boni na ye de. Sade we am dream hu.
Eye nipa su. E bia Africans ntini hu ni mo. Be bia. Unim de ana kasa brofo de otan ni omontem. I have had several clients within my society. I have several brothers. They will tell you point blank. It is everywhere. Baby Africa had any muti be Africans there. I did back when man doors be brain and they can actually say how the level to which we can what? We can effect distraction is what we measure by power. Take to the average African. The reason why we incline more to the negativity, as I said, is the level of distraction we feel and find happiness from. 2, the inability to realize say at the corner of the bone and a bit me the air depa. Ebufo ba ni yakoton kosia ni yatonsa ni yabo obidin ni yabo dua ni nya nipa kono ti se oyo badwuma ohun se metuma tonkosua atonsa ni mabo obidin akansa na bone ato na sa de koro na betuma ayeden e de aye papa sa ne pa kuru ya okobo se dua ku ni yonkun ese ni yonkun sebe oso no pa ni obedi ko ayeden onyan ne ma ko timi fo mo ko school ye ti nyansa e wo ti man ka be se se metuma ye we man ahun ma ayeden etia ade na nsan fa san kosua na ne nsan na nsan bompai e maden unye sika nkotu aba school fees ana kwan biye mama anya adwuma anya yeden e fa nhwe omba. This is how we do it. Tumo ba ya hanoma sa na wo nkosua ne nsa na wo edidi bone no ba ya ha ye gunsa e de friend nepa and it works.
Okay, so Lord Ackkham, we maybe some meba nkrofo no also visit spiritual people, but we dia wo kan ye na ama meba ni say. Wo sha ye demigods ni ye deities and whatever they call them, shrines, abosom ni whatever they call them. Minim se titimire ni mu no ye se ye fa nipa mpo na ye de ko baabi a ebi mutumi di nipa nachi eko protect yomo and all that. This deity, these demigods, be honest with me, their power, is it still with them? Do we still have some of these deities in the land?
Oh, soon to make up baby. So whether they are in America or Ghana, they are still here and they will forever be here. Soon baby, soon. When you come to spiritual knowledge and spiritual science, moment I better say I can say who be a woman, actually say who why then will lose na who then na some for and don't just say who ni ho. Then internet abri biara e wo say wo here pie, wo yes also candle so call altar wo prayers. Because in that offering no any those activities no you are generating what cosmic or psychic force, and then in generating that cosmic force no then the spirit manifesting in the ether through into the astral realm so no bet my adwuma honamani no or you will then tap into those generated thought energy to work within the material. The more and more those things are devoid, the less and less it can get in contact with us and actually work effectively. So when you say yes who be na who dey confirm simply because the offerings and the generation of energy that must go in there is not there. And that is why we call spiritual credits. So you don't have the spiritual credit to be able to employ the services of the deity or the spirits. And not just a home na yeda, home ne wo ho, but apam any hon den ye wo ntema na wo credit e wo say wunya ansa home ne tuma ye adwuma ma no. That credit no nye den. Unni. Sent to bet ma beje bosom afia, e be ye ama no. But no bit bosom fie wa na ne de nye den. Enye ye. So one thing that makes spirit very efficient is one, devotion. Your level of devotion determines. Because the more you're devoted, and then your consistency of practice. And the Bible they pray without ceasing. Why that statement? It's the consistency. It's through the consistency that you build the spiritual credit and aura. And through that, you can be able to make things happen at will. To concremosuma, yesi bompa abribiara. Oko Christosuma bompa abribia. Oba na namusumu so abribiara so osuma yo wodan abribia yedan yimpai. Kona kwaye asudi yedan emano. Hinduism the same thing, Buddhism the same thing. Almost every culture be yedan, was asisu be yedan, practice the same principle. Why? Because it is in the practice that you build your spiritual credit through which all other spirits can serve you. Into Obika say, unmerited favor. What do you mean by merited favor? Or merited grace? What do you mean by Maame Grace? Udiyabem. Or merited grace? What do you mean by merited grace? You are merited. So now what? And I won't suit when in that one the buy. I don't say you are merited. Why? Because you've built the credit or the spiritual aura necessary for that thing to happen to you. Same thing about you know. I don't hear some time back Baba Sab because you've built the necessary energy, the credit necessary for what? For that goodness to come. Into your way I'm back again. Thank you.
Effective of spirit, effective use of spirit. Me pese wo kire yen spirit na ewo ho no omo biggest that they can do and omo smallest that they can do.
The greatest thing a spirit can do is the greatness of the person that invokes and conjures it. Me just say adekese ho metuma ye nyina agina oyeden ogina ni mo oyeden okanasem. Eno no. Humu ni tumi kese bia wo no ho so e wo nipa fam until say nipa gina ni mo oyeden e wo sa tumi ni ahoden no. Adenti ya be me kama sem asante for ka sem bia na say akanfo e wo baby. Yes then konfo a onyansa no aben wanka se konfo wo honhom ana wa bosom o se konfo a owo nyansa no ono aben adan tina konfo wo nyansa no aben oso nyansa na be kire kwan ya betumi de den odi betumi de honhom na den edi djuma obi ya kremoni odi hia obi si kremoni odi yie obi ya kristoni odi hia obi si kristoni odi yie omu nyina ko all night baako omu nyina ko prayers the same way omu nyina ye den adan do bi die no bi di hia obon pai ni wie nsa ye wa dwen ye da wo tim ni adwuma de wa dwen ye na be kire den ahode na wa generate spiritually ne se na be ye e be ba mfaso ye den ama honam ani. So the level of tuition determines your the level of tuition determines your degree of intuition. Your level of tuition determines your level of intuition. Ni awote no saa na betumi ayeden aye. Tisa won bia be di djuma or fa woni person the way di djuma. Tisa wa jimi a na fa homa ube jimi kese. We nyansani na fa homa be nyansani kese. Cause wa dwen na ne hom na yeden enante. So betumi fa hom na se kokun obi. Nyansani so be fa hom aka se den mama hoden nipa mienu nyina kura hom baba ko de ne de den e bo na djuma bo na fi oba ko so de de e sei adwen na de che hom no yeden onkoye se hom bia wa hoden no betuma de djuma bia wo den e wo nipa afemu a ana nipa setena mu a e nipa a ote ade na no yeden e kire.
How does one get spirit?
You are already with a spirit. I don't know why you need a spirit. Now can I do na den?
Say a cat spirit, I wouldn't say nya kra na ati nipa mu ye ka me embe ye me yi. Wouldn't what I'm talking about. Wouldn't what I'm talking about. Like obi or wouldn't so kra na ti nipa ni mu. If people call you and you know what people want, me pe hunhun bi ni nanante and ebi mu ye omo se me pe angel bi ni nanante. How do one get that, and who has the right to get additional spirit? Maame kan say
we had me topic ya koi Maame kan sem ade ba kunie etwese ni pe hia ho enya honhom ana ho na mpese me yi anu fi na me de ba bia de afa no da bi honhom bebe mu a na aje se wo nipa no bia honhom de yeduna yeden apem. That is the only time you need spirits.
And you say we hiara obi ahon de asante ye hia wo de me yehu. How does one acquire and get or find spirit, additional spirit I mean?
Thank you. The most suitable place you can go is to begin from yourself. Because until you are pure within, nothing can work for you around you. Ohun se unya osunsuma kwan so dwumadie ya hwini ebeden ebeba. Want to be sorry ndie wu embo kro no embo se ma homa kasa ye homa yakwaje ne ekotu ane ye won ye no kasa eden eba ni eba no enye bia na hu no tie obu wa makase me nkwaso me nkwohwe nso me nyina koyi ma me obu won ma me da me hu se ne be kasa obu won ma na se me nyina koyi. There are so many ways spirits can actually assist you without you necessarily knowing them directly, and they, knowing them or knowing them na nkyere se ontimi ye na djuma. But there are laws of nature within nature, or there are principles within nature that one must know and understand. Whether you don't know or you know, still it doesn't negate the law. And that law says, don't steal. Don't take what does not belong to you. Love all equally. Some making you will find them all in these religions. Pacho, Oba nanano sumwa, and now important my way. Or soon by and say, try Ben a bit my catcher as a cucunia. Atibida. Try be na efuase obeje unia yira na unia kunuso. Try be na efuase say ubewi obi ade. Try be na efuase so obedi atro. Internationally, all these laws you are speaking about are the principles of nature. Unfortunately, these laws were actually transposed into the Bible and they the 10 commandments with some additional laws. I was say the yehu yakwaka obeka say obase a law when they what the 10 commandments. E wa ade won nature mo dey dance na the Bible nimo. But once you follow these laws and you live purely, these things are going to work for you. Whether you can see them or not, they are already going to be around you and make things fully flow for you. That's the first state you can go. The second, and say okakoji to me, and also one insem bebre. Eyana me kama se bebre de chenipa. Say 2 minutes the obeji o. But when you are ready, because spirit never gives anything for free. Never lie to yourself. Naturally, there's nothing for free on this earth. And every spirit will make sure they always enter into a contract with you. Yes, a spirit will never do anything for you for free. Especially, so go to ya and so nankasa buying so and also And that's the reality we need to face. She said to me, the upper there, na master maybe say, "Upper the acquire den." Sabi ni akoko say nyanse ni mame nkwankoje. Na ba be say fie. Me ne bebusia bi a me nana, o ne nua no etwe manso. Na we kwaje bosom na we so kwaje bosom. Ese me nana no mu nyina ewu. Abosom na letwe bosom na betwe manso no esi wo. Bear in mind, bosom no se kwaje ne ba so ye de on betwe manso twefo na ewu. Echi ma no manso bi eni ho biem. Te say bosom no hwe ono wan na etwe manso sisi a. Adadan bosom na sanda ne bosom sefie. Cause bosom bia tumi bia won adwumadi e den edi. Te say bosom no ode ne ba se ye den o metwe manso a na adwumadi ade hye ne sai den eye manso ne ye ka ho bia ye den enka ho. Cause apam de say bra betwe manso ma me. So every spirit have their own efficiency, every spirit have their own qualities and abilities. Inte hoda wo so hu ti dwumadi e be na de ne ba bedi den ne ba be ye mfa so be ne de ba. If you know say ne akokogye aba no enya de a ehun faso be den e be ye afebo a men koje. Nka those days ye go school na I'm a very good dancer. Anyways, education very brilliant too. Na ye one guy bi na oye fellow dancer. No you go hu malam bi those days so SS. Ana ye copper spirit na malam ka say spirit bi oyo ba no be ware wo. Ware wa nyo pe bi be yama. Ana madam fi kokogye ye tie o kokogye ifrade ampanso also person popular as a dancer. You born in Anka those days will be a behuno. Person be the best dancer. No ye, no jiding. When ya asano so the outside fine. You didn't so the OJ fine. But bear in mind, Suku you how many years? 3 years.
4, 3.
Those days na 3 years. Say 3 years na then. See, we bet ma koso asa de ewu.
Na say school na nsempo obesa 80 years na wo sa.
They say din na person JSS, asana person sa 3 years etwem. But covenant na kwa na then. And forever. It been a making. So ask yourself, is this something that is going to last eternally? And answer, just temporal what? Desire. If a temporal desire, then ask yourself, say covenant now and an eternal desire now. Because eternal desire now or desire then a permanent. We don't miss why then. What to why you kwasia? Me to sebe.
Ayo kwasia on to sebe. Still I when you question anu. Why na so this spirit? Why no walk kwan so betumi age spirit?
Obi a walk kwan so betumi age spirit. But you won kwan so betumi age spirit nyansani. That's the answer.
That's the answer. So now no we say spirit onye bibi ama obi for free. And na we say ebi nso wo ha spirit na na beba odi wachi na oboa wo nim no. Ade so omunya ade for free nti one. Ni odi machi a me nim no. No ye bibi ma me for free. What are the basic stuff a betumi aye? Me hu no, me nim no. Ba me a me hwe me hu a metumu say spirits bi di mechi omo ye ni because the way paper we be that table isu de na e wanwa. Ba me hu omo e den na betimi aye because on wa mama te aso omo nya ade for free. Na omo ambeji ni nyina ambom bondel ambefa de omo pe. E den na me ya metu omo ka na eno ye one. E na afen so me a makọ jibi no. E den pa na me nhwe yi se me nkọje spirit bi se o meye ma me. Na mintu yaka.
Me da say. Before ka say baby e fa mo no, e ho na ye gya no. Ana ye wo to sie so a, on chentintin ye. Sabre me ka say esi a, esi ni ye wen. Ene wa ho onde ni wonyansa. Pese onya sun fa so na bi say. Nya da ba kwa meka ni ye. Se onipa wo pese onya sunsun fa so ana pese odi nyansa to sunsun ade ye ho a bo modern ne fa wonsa ene wadwen e bobra. Do you know Africans are suffering? O question na sha na ho na eba ba meja to obesi sabere oni enti a. Why? Because Africans in general or the African culture is a culture that have alleviated and set aside all their responsibilities and then given it to spirits to undertake. Ye be shemra on potem ye be yi nipa be hwemra no so ne ye de akoma nsuo ne bosom se hwe no bibia bebu mra no so ne ye na wonim se mra no nka wutumi ye den enhwe infect mra na de o share in the first place ye den. Why am I saying this things? One thing you need to understand is the more and more you give your duty to a spirit, the more and more you become subservient and under the control of the spirit. And the more and more a spirit gains what? Better control over your free will, the less and less you can act on your own. Now the spirit now dictates for you what must be done, and that is servitude. Adebako also hunye. Say yemfa ne say abrabo no. Me be kire ne ma mienu bi wa ha. Abrabo ni nie. Nie me wu ya betias nie ntia obi bo fam a o se honhom nye ba me che se wo gimie ene nyansa bi a wo ni ntina ma yeden wo yusu honhom na yeden enya ho bone anya ho sunsuaso bone ade ani nie ye fa se honhom e be hia wo se efia abrabo no hyase wa ha na honhom no wo be hia honhom wa ha na honhom kukuru fi ya yeden e de be si ha am se efia kwaka ha nyina no enya ho odin o ana ba konso nie o hyase abrabo na be si ha ansana onye den onya honhom na honhom ya bo na yeden e de tu ya so se nipa mienu wei mmomwan na wonim de e wo kwanya ofa so de e den e de perikodu so do mmomwan na wonim de e wo ho e na mmomwan na ofi so do be bo fam obetuma sunrise back sanity that's how spirits are. One thing you need to understand is maybe a spirit before bia no say to near ding and I say ba say bibi mpo na ofi wa say na be si spirit respect you more when you've only exhausted your human capacity, but when you have the capacity to what to work and do because we are doing and nya dey e nipa ne honhom te ba ko we ntem dey e adwen the capacity to think to say honhom wo ho na wo ho no fa adwen bibia na de koto honhom so a bear in mind your life is now reliant on the honhom. Na de ba ko ma Africa ye ha bebre nyina dey e ba ne say ade bia wo say ye bia na nka ye pia ye ho kodo soro no ye gya e de ma honhom say honhom nya ma yen ebi ne den so wa ware ase e wo so hwe na ware ani gina na osesa ne suban no na akode aduro mu say e ma oba be ma ne ye den endo no ne suban bo ne wanja yo aduro no ye den akope e na odo na ye den aba. In that way you've compelled Saint Neka say African magic or African spirituality is more of black magic. Black magic ne nkyere say ye di bone and black magic nkyere say wo hwa moja. But in African or in the true definition of magic, yaka black magic is to influence someone without their consent
to do something against their will.
Thank you. Once it goes against someone's will, it is black magic. To gina show them kana obon pai say manager no onfa a position here the emame. It is black magic. You're influencing him against his will.
The negative side of spirituality.
It doesn't black magic ain't say kokun obi mame koyese mame and black magic itself simply means say influences someone against their will. So what is the main cause of these things we having as a people, as Africans? It's simply because we always want spirits to do for us what we must do for yourself. But one thing is certain that you need to know is that spirits will never do for you what you must do for yourself. And if that must be compelled, it comes at a cost. And that cost will be physical, mental, and then spiritual.
So those who do this, no, I'm practicing this black magic. Abotre no muni. Ana niha, ana so say they want shortcut. Which is which?
Meka say, nimdia no muni. Kosu wo nimdia betia say, wanka se mo ye honhom. Oni nente de American science. Eni nsem bi ho asem no. Oni say, okobro ni krom kwa ye bi friend social engineering. Anaba nimdia nyansape ye fe bi social engineering. Obi atena se esua de hu se me no kasa na mani da awani wa mu a ye nyina enim e ma we attentive more untumi nye dan entwa wani mebo a ahwe hu se sa na ete de a ene me branding me product a se picture bi ada ho a the picture must be positioned in certain way uyo bi a some be ka kire we start your experiment me dey ye market supermarket you because we don't learn, we don't apply the laws of nature. Me ba the laws of nature so na be jesu nsuma de wase, we don't apply them. Bibi most of our multinational or international corporations or shopping malls anyway, see where they arrange the baby foods and baby products and see the pictures on those baby foods. When we say picture no will be an idea, picture no ha, picture no idea, we're trying to near the that is what the picture is. You know the picture is what? Why do they position it that way? Because the target market is the child. And abofano so nya tintin obedu soro. On firm, so the picture must be positioned. That connection, mommy, I want this. Psychologically, subconsciously, it has what? It has activated what? A sense of what? Connectivity and consent with the product for him or her to demand it. That is science. That is nature. You don't apply any principle of nature. You want to ignore all these things. It is only we now apply, now we have results, now we here home. Do you even need spirit? This is the reason why most of we Africans, you call Western, na afe, I had say be jusun sumu nyamedi. Why? Because the spiritual aspect of what? Of the land has not been integrated into everything. There's a separation between spirituality, religion, and what? And politics and what? And science. Why did they separate? So that you can think logically within every field of play. Now, but to the African, you can't in album science, politics, religion, leadership, spirituality, album.
You are watching Revelations. I hope say you enjoy it. And the command I'm saying fan bro and no waha and now yima musano. Enti Lord day yen shas asem we ade we hia me pa. Spirituality is part of every human being. Now, your narrow conversations need down near Fambra as Africa or as a country. Nan say now can say sikedro be ni baby na say ni say be I even posted it on my page. How sure are you about this? Say sikedro be ni baby.
Let's be sincere. Me come asem we a. Only one mo je sikedro di pa. One mo je sikedro di pa. Enya even spiritualist though. Religious people need je sikedro credit sin yan kasa na ye wo powerful so no. Or let to be sincere with you. Every true, genuine spiritual person will tell you, "Secret be any baby." But those religious people also need GDP. Why? Because it gives them a reason to what? To actually paint some people or some practices what black. Let's be real. And only here, Adibi Amedi here same. Na, maybe sa same. Na secret wo ho. Money doubling wo ho. Money den wo ho. And a Ghana ban ye da so bobosia.
Some nkwaya mom.
Ye nkwaya mom. Ujidi. Wa Ghana ban hia bosia. Oko IMF. Wako euro no EU. Wako pay euro bond. Wako China. Wako jisika ba. Na sikedro wa ha. Na sika no ain't me if poverty mo. Shouldn't that be enough to be for you to begin to question say bibi sa wo ho a. Ada na ye that shouldn't here. Asam make any asem bisa me bi sem pese me kan asem bi si asem so. How we have projected reality is why we are suffering. Money comes through working. There is no way money will fall from the sky for you. Opa Jimidi, Opa Njimindi, one auntie as you do sika de bia, and one hin wait me be. Ye can near the Akosia and another breast say, ye buy ye be wo ye beti, ye na nano be no mo sika, no o sika, o we see a good day be. But forgetting says, I bring a year refer to no see a generation be na bank and soon ye day, any hot in sick of going.
But Lord, in Crawford's Sikedro, people have done it and it's working for them.
Would you say Sikedro?
No,
thank you very much. In Pempi, now Sikedro, I can't want seven, but I can't say Miachro. I wouldn't deny the fact that spirits have the capacity to do everything. Your different type of spirit, they're all different capacities. But, Nientia soon, if I catch you, Sikedro be any honor. I say, who be Busum means the be and the answer of physical then. Emanipa and Abusum be any baby or Bacco dinner chia or Cassade. Sabusum fear way the Nasa, Suma way the end, the answer obey Sikawa diamobi. They be any ho. See a funny part 1,000 who are able to be fortunate to have that encounter with spirits. It's not even what you're funny part 1,000 and you're barely 1%, and now you need part 1,000, just 1 penny successful out of it. And that success doesn't come just because any panel you're doing ABB. That success only comes because it only met a spirit that was able to perform that activity within a given period of time. See, a given period of time. But how is it done? No. It is just the transfer of what? Money from one place to the other. Spirit bet ma fadia fia, abesia, bet ma fadia kwa, akoha. Adet net ye, see ya mesro, bet medi a 5,000. Rollins ability to bet medi. Why can't you spend that money?
5,000.
5,000, 8,000 cedis, 500.
What's that trim?
I don't know trim.
So how much of a floor in the view?
Into spirit, ne so be physical, scabbing or befi.
I saw not the latest into
or befi the current one. That tells you the capacity to what? To regulate money, the ability to what? To share, to disperse and what? And disperse money within the state. And people accepting something as the legal tender for buying and selling. Or anything to become a legal tender for buying and selling depends on the people that prints the money. It is kind of printing any and the panel won't put them to say, Sika when you bedino, and a Sika won't bet my I am Wajuma. So in the first place, we must first we empower any form of thing to be a money. And that is the only time a spirit can actually move that money from one place to the other. But yes, you can say you invent money. Spirit can never manufacture money. It can only move money from one place to the other, depending on the money which has been accepted as the authority within the space.
Lord, how come some of these same people that practice the same thing you guys are practicing are also preaching that these things are there?
And how many of them have they been able to do it for? You call the Biama Kodupiomo. Sankama Vabeka, Omunsa Match, and Camon say you call the Biama Kodupio, Obi Trabecas as in the who, me catch your plane. Because even Sikadro or her, and you want to be Bontabeka, Obi Becca said, you may say Cindy who. You will trade draw, you will be Biao, but near friend is Sikadro put it in minimum pona can ask them on your friend, your friend, oh, here, Edru. I didn't even know here drew. And your friend is a drew. I dear how, and the other yepa and drew. I didn't even know here drew near friend is a drew.
So are you saying it's a drew?
Okay,
here drew.
Oh, here drew, and then they said, Jim, what now? Buama will Jim and be a crema then. I ye.
I know the
thank you. Send an old friend is a drew, and no Montiasiano.
It's just a winning that and one hour.
Not that is not sick a drew.
Until we use a dinner at the man on the page just to turn the thing around.
As no make any, me person me chira this is very dicey. Nye wo mu nie, nya make me special tias ye. Nia wo friend Sikadro no, say sikebi fi baby na eba na me chira say no. Say sikebi wo ho a spirit have the power to move money from one place to the other or to move things from one place to the other. But not all spirit have that ability. And in that space no, sika na bibi nipa na spirit bet me move no eh because say sika na environment nipa na ye den egitum. That is 2. 3. The third point is say was so who am person me chira on this say sika na eba no efihi na eba wakọ gym wa na se wadwuma akoso no sika ba e sika dro obetuma ka say sika dro man ya mo chira mu say se na sika dro te no enya sa na ye den
okay so mboade de wo ho
eye mboa na wo kan but we are in a state where adibia ebua ma sika ba bia no ye de abata sika dro ho
okay so
the actual thing your friend sika dro ni say you describe ye den eni ho but we have so many things that can assist you and make success
enti yanka say sika moa
Sikamwa, yes, Sikadro.
That's Lord Ackkham. Just Sikadro na mpena betumi aka Sikamwa and you are watching Revelations and would media say wunim midin edada. Lord Ackkham.
Yes.
Enkrofo a omo kọ enkrofo ho se omo hwehwe omo pese omo huhum. One, ebi se me pese me huhum ani bie. Me pese me nya huhum bi na me ne nante. How do one go about it? Men can't tell me so be here. They want to know.
Adiba kunye. Upe anyone no e dia yeden. Upe dia yeden.
Eden ni papa anywa de ye.
Ene ni asema wo a obisa na bibisa wo. Wo a upe na ye bisa wo. Upe dia yeden.
Omu ni ha wo anywa ni bi nti wo de nti na upe anywa no.
E bia me de se me di dwuma me de kira de.
Ebi onipa no so pese de kira de.
Ba me nka se me waniwa. Minti ma no nka hwe.
Ze me hia obi aso obefi nwura bi ma be ka che me se me nya yi sa.
Ebi how de koye den.
Ono so de kwachira de. Nti how do they start or whatever?
I think this question nipa na obebisa no betuma yi ano. Enye yen.
Odipa na obebisa.
Ade ni enta me bisa sa asem we. Impampi na no. Ade bi eda mu no. Enye ne pe ene ehia. Ne mfa so die ene eden ehia. Impampi na no obi atumedwen ka ho. Minya Range Rover party anka mepe o. Minya sesa anka mepe o. But forgetting say wunya wi a nya ka eye maintenance, nya ka eye usage. Senta me bisa say ope aniwa. Den ti na ope. A legitimate question. Nya ope na beche say ehun hia so benya ene ehun hia so be den ubenya.
No dey fani so obi ubisa na waka na ehun hia so obenya. What's the next thing?
The next question is say nya ope so de ye ni. Den fa so na be ba manipa.
Ebeba o dey fa na say me ebi amaba ho me ntumi ha Maame Grace Lord me pe eniwa. O eniwa na ope no. O de ye den pese me bie companies na me process plantain
because
plantain
companies now here no enya eniwa adwuma. Na automatic ma choose unhia eniwa. Afa nia unhia nie. Afa oni enta ye bisa questions no. Companies unhia eniwa na be company.
Me de kwachira ade. Me de koya nia wo ye ni bi. Ene koya nia wo ye.
Oni enta asem bisa unhia.
Me de koya nia wo ye ni bi.
O de be nia me ye ni bi.
Yes.
Anye be hwe bedem ehu se eye wadwuma.
O de fa say ya hwe me hye bedem madwuma.
It won't be a line of question no. This is how
you ba hwe eye madwuma.
Sa na ye den etie. Eye wadwuma de a ye be hwe kwan ye be fa so ye den aye. Aniwa na ahaban de nye hu saman, nye hu motia, nye hu sasabonsam, and I near no bosom eden enam. Send your camera, son, and nibiate. Ubakasa, unya, and you are bet me who be about me for what bet in a casemuno. Unya, and you are. Oh, third eye, you become awakened and enlightened. You know everything. It is not true. There be that. Who and you were not just who said bonnet to me into. And I bonnet baby who. Debbie. I have to some case you bought me what or third eye open now. You become conscious. You know so many secrets. Who told you? You can't say man in same being same power. And then the Chinese outron say when you are. I say what your hobby and to hobby for my videos changing the destiny. Who told you? Because I said you anyone on your malaria. I am Kanyana. On Pauline and prayer. What makes you so convinced when you are then you are invincible to all conditions of nature? Ayatro. And you want to do so what in Habayan now bet my head at Eddie Hujuma. You when you are in some penny, men child, a born in some and for penny in send your phone camera to send any wide at here. Phone camera be on the camera quality. I will extend and I'm a friend saying, the team and I be a stent and in race bet my head edu. Focal length of every camera, send out any Beyonce heading at here. So every anywhere be on the quality, the use, and then the essence. Until because anywhere in itself alone is enough to qualify you to know it's a lie. You can still have an eye and still be weaker spiritually. Who anyone so just what ben. So one who I won't just why who eduma. Me da say. Into anyone there. Who benya be hu nsem no e na ekire. Into the end said so open anywhere that kwasa yare one I say ahaban ne ho keka na be den. Who benya na wonya wi esi. Wonya aniwa keke. Wahu ade ne wahu. Wonya aniwa so nya so ka ho kwasa so na be kire wo ne wo so eden wo ye. E be kire wo ntiase. Santiase na so fu be ni nti no tumi hu obi na jagu ne ti so. O so e befo. But forgetting say so obi and kundalini chakra activated no who will be when you are say ojanso yeden eguniti so. You see how stupid we are. Anyone who but say in everything get understanding. You can see it, but with that knowledge what to understand it you misinterpret it. So make I say then me go back to yana namas say then konfu won nyansa no on wa ben I bring so
yo revelations yemre no aye ebe ye beto asem we so na the way I walk mysticism ni spirituality ni blah blah ye baba beto asa nkomo so but in 2 minutes me pese wo ma advice we ma me enkrofo bi wo ho a omo ko consult spiritual person they feel say me koye consultation na me tua sika na ye bone and me ba consultation na utua me no and na 2 ebi mu so omo ko a omo ni abotre na omo start na omo taneshi nipa ni image and na 3 obi wo ho no mu nso a ono nso so no ono no oni hwe e na watena ho e na ode adinfishe nkrofo mu spirituality nti ama nkrofo abemabu na so spirituality is real. They have the kind of work omoye. So when we are there am there boom I know they are huge to deeper form time na
me ameka ni sunsun ni pa bi aniwa na ho odi nkura na na se tumi ni fi ne ho fashe otim as no say we developing the whole spiritually and no on spiritual development but so no hu bi na nam a fashe otim say tumi ni mfi ono ankasa ya hu medi na chi na ne yeden enam inti ne papa ye mu no so enyanse na obadwe ma asem a obi aba ho obabedi djuma also bi ono yeden e ka che ne say ti wono ne ka che no enye me na meye ahonhom na eye ma nhomre niema pempi na nipa bebre abemubu anase omo sai nipa bi no eye one se na nipa ne tu ne ho me metuma ye se enye wo na yeden oje honhom oye na de no spiritually ni onni ho bi wo kwan fa so honhom ne ye fa so yeden na de we nipa ba ko ho adwuma e wo se ne yete we nipa 10 ho adwuma e wo se ne yete ye mfa ne se ope contract bi say ya approve contract e wo adwuma bi mu. That thing does not come from individual's decision and your board of directors. So if you want yours to be accepted, you need to give yourself time. Because if the spirit must work,
base with everybody.
The spirit must touch base with each and everybody within the authority line, the chain of command for that thing to manifest. And it's not 2 days, it's not 3 days, it's not 4 days, it's not 5 days. That's the first condition. The second condition, the obstacle was a spirit near them overcome. nipa na okọ so no emu de sunsuma ho de yeden etesen nia ne ho yeden no obe take more time and so yeden akọ the next person so third point nso yeden eye wo nipa na nkasa yedi hu djuma no what is your spiritual credit saint na okọ sunsun djumadi mu yeta yeden yeta ma won kasa edwera wo ho e perform certain austerities men di say men say yes say twunfu we send nia yeden obe cleanse yourself of all these negative vibrations and so na ho yeden ato madwuma na yeden acontem. Because the Spirit is not working in His name. He is working on your behalf. So if you are what? If you are guilty of spiritual what? Karma or spiritual offenses, it will also affect the degree to which what? The Spirit can negotiate for your progress and your path. It is any money in any honor forget it so per result. Into also all this cannot one mama 2,000, mama 100 cities, mama 500 cities, mama say intended me penny within 2 months. Oh na ye. Oh I want to bet myself within 2 months and kaba obey then. Be sincere and tell the person. Me pen within a month. Who are one day bet my end within a month and kaba habe. I know one year with fears and aba. Me catch you be me catch you plain. Me pen open 1 year. Open me pen within 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Bet my end 2 weeks and kaba oba ha. Sometimes me shaka na me should be sad. Oh ha na di da ben aso ha na start. Oh I have my family be 4 years ni. 4 years. Until she oba me have 2 weeks na be my pressure. Tell the person, be sincere, let the person know say these are the conditions involved with the manifestation of what? Of activities. Second point, and I said the following point, and so and which will be the fifth point, and so they said then the degree or the amount of psychic credit or psychic force generated with the ritual. Ritual be when a one year then a generate send you but should be then one capacity, ritual be one capacity. If the obstacle net that hono obstacle no
ritual be one capacity me mo nko ye to so right now. Enti no 1 hour no ayebe ochina ye beto asasem we ya so 6 o'clock. Or say battery be a one capacity nti ritual be anso so one capacity nti so ma ye rituals ni bi na ye hu omo capacity na ye de to aso ye bi so omo nso a omo je nkrofo ni sika na omo nya edwuma na ma omo no omo fro say hey wo fra me spirit oba be yi wuti efi so we no chena ye be discuss ni the business nyama e de ato aso. Thank you so much for watching Revelation. We are still here till tomorrow.